Ooh, what's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMGWTF, LOLFTWBRB. Welcome back to more Total Extreme Wrestling 2016. We are playing as the WWF in the year 2001. We are indeed booking the Invasion angle, and tonight we will be running the much anticipated No Mercy pay-per-view. Sorry for a little bit of a late upload. That's more than usual. I try to get these up, straight at midnight, so it has the whole day to sit. I had the full intentions on doing that with No Mercy, by the way. But this is actually my second attempt at recording it. I had a recording yesterday, and I am going to go ahead and spoil it. We had one hell of a show yesterday when I did my first recording. Our semi-main and our main event, which of course our main event is Austin versus Rock. Austin versus Rock got a perfect rating, an A-star, 100. Perfect rating. And then our semi-main, which is Chris Jericho and DDP, also got a surprising A-star rating. So hopefully we can live back up to that and retain what we had in the past show. Because this was also our best show. It was our best show we ever did. So hopefully we can do that as well. I had to go ahead and rebook the whole thing because I had to do the game recovery thing to go back to Sunday, so I had to go ahead and rebook everything. And at one point, I guess I gave something a little too much time, or a couple things too much time, because I wasn't able to book in a couple segments that I did want to book in, which is unfortunate. They were just a couple angles here, maybe like video packages and stuff like that, but stuff to kind of separate the matches. So hopefully that doesn't come back and bite us. Other than that, though, like I said, let's just hope it stays the same as it did before. I guess I should say, what happened, which, to be honest myself, I really don't know what happened. I recorded it, everything went fine, it recorded my audio, and it even recorded, a blank black screen. I have no idea what happened. I did everything I'm doing right now, and I've done in the past 3 test recordings I did. One doing I'll leave it, we'll get to that. It's going to be a special video. A test recording turned to a special video, and then the other one's just, some editing here and there before, make sure everything went there, and everything was fine, so hopefully everything goes fine with this one, because I would hate to do it a third time. Other than that, though, nerds and geeks, I don't have much else to go over. We didn't have any backstage or locker room incidents like we did in the past episode. If you're curious to know what our backstage incidents were there, it was Stacy telling hilarious road stories, and Undertaker working with babyface skills with Mark Jindrak. Also, you know what, I'll just get to differences when we get to the matches, because there are some interesting ones, if there are any differences. I don't want to jinx myself ahead of time like we might have done there, Austin and Rock and DDP and Jericho. I feel like there's one other thing I wanted to mention to you guys, but maybe it'll come to me. I do not remember. Let's just go in on the show as we open up with a solid 60 C rating here. I think this actually did better, because I think in the past show it did a C-. I'm not going to say it for every match, but either way, we have a bout that had decent wrestling, but not between heat. Mike Awesome goes on to defeat Big Boss Man in 8 minutes, 20 seconds with the Awesome Bomb. Awesome with a 62 performance over Boss Man's 60. So here's a difference before. Let's see if it is really a difference. I shouldn't speak so soon. In the past recording, Mike Awesome showed up wasted on drugs, so maybe he didn't do it this time. He is also improving in performance, so part of me says he didn't. Hey, what a good difference. Okay, Mike Awesome, I don't have to suspend you this time. That would have been your second one, but it's dangerously probably going to happen again. We then go to a solid B here with a 78 rating. Eddie Guerrero and Rikishi pulling out their best. In a decent pre-show match, Eddie Guerrero goes over Rikishi with the Frog Splash at 9 minutes 33 seconds. And Eddie with a 75 in-ring performance to Rikishi's 65. No, not yet. That's for Eddie Guerrero, but we're not turning him yet. And then I think this did a B+ last time, which is a little unfortunate. But either way, we go to a solid B rating here with an 81. Ric Flair makes a rare appearance, not only in the ring, but on the pre-show of all things, to take on a fellow WCW superstar, Chris Kanyon, and about that had a great wrestling and good heat. He goes over him with the submission hold, most likely the figure 4 leg lock, in 13 minutes, 5 seconds, so that's always good. Let me just reply to my buddy Chris here, let him know I'm recording No Mercy, because I'm sure he'll be happy to hear that. And when he watches this, he'll be like, hey, that's when I messaged Steve, and he said, hey, I'm recording No Mercy. Ric Flair with a 94, good God. And Canyon with the 78. We're going to have to start using Ric Flair more, which, well, we'll see, you know. Let's take a drink before we start off the show. 81B, not a way to, you know, that's probably going to do better than the opening segment. Or opening match, I should say, whatever. Alright. Let's move on. No, it doesn't. It actually does 1 point better than Ric Flair and Canyon did. And about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Test and Albert defeat Power Plant and the Hardy Boys in 10 minutes, 51 seconds, with Test going over Stasiak with the running big boot, making their 5th defense of the WWF World Tag Team Championships. Excuse me. So, in my honest opinion here, Nerds and Geeks, in real life, I figured Power Plant and TNA should have just been a one-off feud. But I really didn't, just want to have them lose and then, that's it for them. So I kind of wanted them to have a 2-month feud, and I figured adding in the Hardys would be a nice little fun way, especially since the Hardys are super over as well. So that's mostly why this match happened and why the Hardys were randomly added there. That, and I was sick of not doing anything with them. Two guys like Jeff and Matt definitely need more attention. Same thing with, Dudley's and Edge and Christian. I've been, focusing on two of them, two of those team members, while other teams get shafted in the back. So I'm going to try to stop, doing that, along with, ignoring the women like I have been. Regal doing good work ringside. Jeff and Matt, of course, have their excellent chemistry. Unfortunately, a lack of psychology. It did get the show off to a strong start. I did have them work the crowd, so there is that. That's probably why. Sean Stasiak with a 64, so it looks like I'm going to assume he did the worst of the match. Jindrak with a 67. Albert with an 80. Tess with an 86. Matt Hardy, good God almighty. Good God almighty! With a 96. Jesus, Matt, calm down. And Jeff 1 point behind his brother with a 95. The Hardy Boys are, super good. Holy crap. Matt's also improving in performance skills, so that's good for him. We're definitely going to have to push both Matt and Jeff after the invasion angle in either tag team or singles action. Jesus. We then go to a backstage segment here. Now, originally, in the past recording, I had all these written out and everything. I didn't feel like doing that over again. So all of them are just going to be freestyle segments. Kurt Angle cutting a promo on Chuck Palumbo before his match. Major talking points here is he pretty much tells Chuck that, you're impressive. You've got a bright career in front of you, but you're not making your name off of me. Instead of relying on your physical strength and your skill in the ring, you rely on your, Stacy. Ever since Stacy came in your life, you turned your back on Sean O'Hare and the Natural Bone Thrillers, and that's all you rely on now. You're pretty much her pet dog. Well, now the dog's going in the cage, and Kurt frickin' Angle, or Stacy Keibler's just going to have to pretty much stand there and watch Kurt frickin' Angle put the dog down. So just a generic promo on Chuck Palumbo. Get a little bit, the fans a little more excited about it, even though I didn't put Chuck and them in this, but, maybe my mistake. 85B plus isn't too bad. Michael Cole's also not rated in any of these segments. Apologies ahead of time if you hear any background noises, any banging. I have no idea what's going on outside back there, but it is pretty close, so apologies there. Here's an impressive match, because last time this had a C-, so stepping it up to a solid C rating here with a 64 rating, and about there with decent wrestling and little heat to it. Lita goes over Jacqueline in 10 minutes and 8 seconds by a submission hold of all things. Jesus, Lita, what did you do? I have no idea. I didn't even know Lita did submission holds. Making her 3rd defense of the Women's Championship, thus ending the feud between her and Jacqueline. Lita with a 64 in-ring performance, Jacqueline with a 57, and gaining heat to a feud that is over. Jacqueline is improving in performance skills, I should say. Not a bad match, guys. As we move on to yet another backstage segment, this time with Christian, as Christian is pretty much just giving us a little insight on how, he's shocked what happened on Monday Night Raw, when after the match his brother, speared him, and he's kind of, at a loss for words. He really doesn't know what to think right now. because he's going into this United States title match, and yes, of course he wants to win the U.S. title. It'll do great things for his career, but he also doesn't want to sacrifice his relationship with his brother, so he doesn't really know what he's going to do, and he pretty much goes on to say, I guess we're all going to find out what I'm going to do when I just, go out there and do it. And he just goes, last thing I really have to say is, Edge, I'm sorry. And he walks out there. Well, doesn't walk out there because it isn't our next match, but either way, 71 B- from Captain Charisma. As we move on to our steel cage match, getting a 81 B rating here, solid B, and about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Kurt Angle ends his feud with Chuck Palumbo, going over Stacy's dog pretty much as he put tonight, in a steel cage match in 15 minutes 13 seconds by pinning him with the Angle Slam because, this is modern. And we, instead of escaping the cage, we pin each other. I hate that rule, but that's how it was. Chuck was visibly tiring towards the end, which is unfortunate. It looks like he can't go for, it looks like at least over 13 minutes, because I believe I was booking him in those kind of matches. Stacy Keibler doing some good work ringside, good for her. Kurt Angle with an 87, and Chuck Palumbo with a 70 rating, so good on you guys, good match. For those of you worried about Kurt Angle, hoping he gets out of this mid-card, upper mid-card territory, don't you worry. I've got big plans for Kurt Angle. Big plans. Don't you worry. Kurt Angle says he can... I remember this in the other thing, but I wasn't going to change it. But I guess that was a brawl-based match. I don't remember if I had a segment in between here last time. Either way, though, we go on to an impressive, solid B rating with an 81. Good on you guys. Got the same rating as Canyon and Rick did. And about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Christian. That's right, nerds and geeks. Christian goes on to defeat Edge in 13 minutes, 20 seconds, while using the ropes for leverage, winning the United States champion from Edge in, I believe, his first title defense. So Christian all along, actually, I'm not going to even say all along because we don't know that yet, but we don't know if all along he's kind of been planning this. Maybe he was turning his back on Edge all along, but maybe he just, after that spear, said it was enough. I guess we'll have to wait to hear from him. But he does, in fact, turn his back on Edge and looking like it's going to end the tag team between these two after cheating to capture the title. It's unfortunate for Edge, but look at Christian capturing one of his first major singles titles. I believe he's held I know he's held the light heavyweight title, but that was like a super short reign. I believe the shortest. Either that or it's, he lost to Gilbert, so maybe that's what it was. Or I think maybe he's been a European/Canadian champion. I might be wrong there. That might have not happened yet. But either way, capturing the United States Championship, big break for Christian. Also, getting better at his gimmick. Look at that. 78 in-ring performance from Christian and Edge with an 81. Any worker improvements? Unfortunately not. Good match, guys. Another 81 rating here as we go backstage with Shane McMahon, who is celebrating. I think I booked this a little too early. This was supposed to be after the next match. Either way, he's celebrating. Maybe a little bit of a spoiler for the next match, but you don't know what the next match is, so whatever. And he's all talking about how this has been a great night so far, and it's only going to get better because you know what, Giant, you're up next. You're taking on that big red freak, and I want you to go out there, and I want you to do what my dad likes to say. I want you to eviscerate him. And then the Giant puts his big old palm in Shane's face before he continues going on, makes it into a fist, and you just see him looking all pissed off, and he walks away, and then Shane kind of just smiles, going, oh yeah, he's pissed. Part of me kind of feels bad for Kane. But that's not the next match, unfortunately. I think I mixed them up here. But we go on to another. This match did good in the last recording, too. I don't know why it's doing this well. But another solid B rating here with a 77 and a decent match. Lance Storm goes on to retain the Canadian Championship over two ECW originals, Tommy Dreamer and Raven, two bitter rivals and two former tag team champions. Or, well, not two former tag team champions, but a former tag team champions between the two of them. Holding the ECW titles or tag titles at one point. Either way, Lance Storm goes on to defeat Raven. I guess I didn't put in Tommy Dreamer taking the fall, so that's okay. Lance Storm goes on to beat Raven, getting his revenge over Raven, I guess, while Tommy looks good, with the last call super kick, making his 9th defense of the Canadian Championship. I could play that in a storyline. Tommy with a 71, which is impressive for a man who is an opener only. 71 rating for Tommy Dreamer. Good for you, man. Lance Storm with a 77, the best in the match, and Raven with a 73. also gaining heat for the feud. That most likely is over. Tommy's also improving in performance. I have faith in Tommy. You know what? I really think if I book Tommy Dreamer right, I could make him a pretty big star. Too bad we don't have a shirt that doesn't say ECW on it. We then move on to our WWF Hardcore Championship match, nerds and geeks. Some of you may be mad at me for doing this, but I didn't really have someone pointed it out as well. We actually had to increase the time, as you saw on Sunday Night Heat, so we even fit all the matches on here. But I booked in quite a lot of matches here, and the Hardcore title match was just one too much, pretty much, because I really couldn't book in enough angles to balance the two. So I figured, you know what, the Hardcore title is pretty much a gimmick. It's an angle in itself. We can go ahead and book in just pretty much a backstage-type brawl in an angle format and call it the Hardcore Championship and just have it change hands there. So that's what we did. Instead of the match starting there, it just starts in the back. I'd imagine the announcers putting over, like, you know, because this was supposed to be, you know, like, wow, you know, Lance Storm, an impressive match, retaining his championship over, you know who? Raven and Tommy Dreamer. I don't know why I thought about it. And then it's like, well, we're going in the back. Dusty Rhodes is like, I'm getting word right now that we got a huge brawl going on in the back right now with Sabu and Ron Simmons. It looks like the WWF Hardcore Championship match is starting right now, baby. And we go into the back. We see Jimmy Corderas officiating a WWF Hardcore Championship match between Ron Simmons and Sabu. Simmons wasn't waiting. I imagine a nice little hardcore schmodge in the back, taking out each other with random pipes just set up, knocking them over, tossing each other into crates. You know, those big old black crates. Maybe even Ron Simmons finishes it with a Dominator on the crate itself, or maybe even through a table. I don't know. I don't know if we'd want to do the table thing since we have a tables match literally tonight. Either way, Ron Simmons ends up, you know, hitting the Dominator on Sabu to capture the Hardcore Championship for what I believe is the 4th time in his career in just these short amount of months. Look at this. Good for you guys. Got the crowd hotter. So look at Sabu working on it. And gaining heat to the feud, which, you know what, may be over, to be honest. We then go to a solid B rating with an 80, and about that had superb wrestling and great heat to it. The Giant goes on to defeat Kane in 14 minutes, 52 seconds by pinfall with a chokeslam. We also had Chris Benoit running and attack Kane. So I'd imagine this match, you know, going all over, maybe even spilling into the backstage arena. As they're brawling back there, Chris Benoit just so happens to see Kane, goes and attacks him to get a little, you know, extra vengeance. Hey, you know, you're the brother of the guy that I'm fighting tonight, and he took out my mentor, so I'm going to kick your ass. Helping the Giant out a little bit before Giant makes him back off, saying, you know, this is my battle. I'd imagine them going back to the ring because unlike, you know, a Falls Count Anywhere match, these Extreme Rules matches have to end in the ring. That's at least my rule. I'm sticking to it. Giant goes on into the ring. Maybe they, you know, get the chokeslam on each other, where they both grab each other's throats, and then Giant overpowers him, hits the chokeslam, and goes on to defeat Kane, upsetting Kane's return. Kane was off his game, unfortunately, and there was a lack of selling and lack of psychology, so that affected the match and dinged it there. Either way, though, Kane with an 89 and the Giant with a 92, so good on you guys. Good on you guys. That's what I meant. Fucking stupid. Moving on to the next match of the night. Did we sell at the arena, by the way? I random thing, but I remember, I think it said 55,000. I think we sold it out, which last time I think we only did 50,000. Random tidbit. Another freestyle segment here. Triple H is cutting a promo on Rhino, telling him that tonight's the night. You know, you warned him. You better not get involved in my business, but you didn't listen. And now tonight's the night that I'm gonna end you, Rhino. I'm gonna put you in extinction. Gaining heat for the feud, but if that's gaining heat for the feud and it's a 73 B-, that's kind of sad. We then move on to our ladder match with this. This does better. This did not get a 66 C+ last time, and it got like a C or a C-. So we move on to our ladder match, and about that had decent wrestling and little heat to it. Billy Kidman retains the Cruiserweight Championship over Chavo Guerrero Jr. in 7 minutes 31 seconds. By pulling it down, of course, making his first defense or official defense of the Cruiserweight Championship. The one main thing here I think we all want to see is Billy Kidman doing a shooting star press off the ladder. That's the one thing I think we all want to see. Kidman, unfortunately, was off his game. Come on, Billy. Kidman with a 66 in-ring performance, and Chavo with a 58, gaining heat to their feud. That's most likely also going to end. We then move on to our Falls Count Anywhere match, which does better than it did in the last recording, which I'm happy about. Another solid B rating here with an 80, and a bout that had superb wrestling and great heat. Rhino, yes, nerds and geeks, Rhino goes over Triple H in 15 minutes, 11 seconds. With a pile driver? No, Rhino. That's not how we do things around here. A pile driver? No. A gore. Get it right. By beating him with the gore, we have a Falls Count Anywhere, and I'd imagine pretty much it ending with Rhino hitting a gore, taking Triple H out through one of those garage doors and spearing him through it, and getting the victory that way. 1, 2, 3. Rhino beats the game in an upset victory. No one thought they'd see it. Rhino wins. Also, we had to, make Triple H look freaking great, keep him protected and strong, but actually it doesn't seem like I kept him protected, so maybe I only had to. This was our Wild Brawl match of the night, by the way. Stephanie and Triple H, of course, with their great chemistry. Triple H with a 93 and Rhino with an 86. Good job, guys. No worker improvements, though. I was hoping to see some improvement for Rhino, but Rhino with a career-defining win tonight, guys. So we move on to a solid A rating with an 89 rating. Holy hell. Shane McMahon, he's backstage once again. He's psyching up the Steiners for their match against the Dudleys. Scott cuts him off, pretty much saying, you know what, we're not worried about it. It's just the damn Dudleys. It don't matter if it's a tables match. Tonight, me and my brother, one by one, are going to put them damn Dudleys through those damn tables, and we're going to break the damn backs. And then, they walk out. As we move on to said tag team title match, which gets us a 78, solid B rating here, and about that had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The Steiner brothers go on to retain the WCW Tag Team Championships over the Dudley Boys in their own match in 11 minutes 39 seconds. It was elimination style. Devon was eliminated first. I'd imagine at one point, though, the Dudleys get their way back into the ring, and Rick Steiner gets eliminated next. One of the Steiners gets eliminated, coming down to Bubba and Scott. Scott goes over Bubba, though, of course, putting him through a table and retaining the championships, making their third defense of the World Tag Team titles. Scott, of course, carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, it would seem. Devon and the Dudleys and the Steiners both have great chemistry or excellent chemistry with each other. Not enough selling and not enough psychology shown, which is unfortunate. Bubba with an 87, Devon with an 86, Scott Steiner with 100. Calm down! And Rick with an 80, the weakest of the match. Then why did Devon get eliminated first? Whatever, I don't care. I'm just nitpicking, I guess. We then move on to a 87 B+ rating. This didn't get you know what? It might have got an A. I don't necessarily remember what this did, because there was one thing in particular I remembered that I noticed didn't happen here. But either way, we go on to have an exceptional match between The Undertaker and Chris Benoit, with The Undertaker going over Chris Benoit in 15 minutes, 45 seconds with the last ride to capture his first Intercontinental Championship title. The Undertaker's never won the Intercontinental title in real life, and I'll be honest, I never had any plans to give The Undertaker the Intercontinental Championship in the save, but Chris Benoit's drug issues came up, and we had to have him drop the title, along with him getting drug tested right after this video, because if he comes up dirty again, we're going to suspend him just like everybody else. Just had to make sure we took the titles off and made sense first. Either way, Undertaker with a 96 in-ring performance and Chris Benoit with an 89. It did lose heat to the feud, but this feud is most likely ending because Chris Benoit is most likely going to get suspended, if I'm going to be honest with you. The one thing I want to note about this match is, and I'm super happy it didn't happen. So this might have got an A last time, but I'm relieved because last time The Undertaker got injured. He had a torn stomach muscle. Now, it wasn't too bad, although he was off screen. He was only out for 26 days, I think it was. He would have been back in time for Survivor Series for, a huge angle that I have planned for that involves him. So it would have worked out. It just would have been, weird booking it. So happy to see he wasn't injured this time, but Chris Benoit's improving in performance. Good for him. We then move on to our main events of the night, 4 of them to be exact. I guess Undertaker and Benoit can be counted, so that's 5. Solid B rating here with an 80. just the video package for Booker T and RVD's feud. Of course, WCW and ECW being tied in there as well. Hyping up the upcoming WCW World Championship match in the Extreme Rules, which gets a 86B+. Good for RVD and Booker T, keeping it going for them. And about that had great wrestling and good heat. Booker T does indeed go over RVD in his own match, the Extreme Rules match. 14 minutes, 37 seconds, with pinfall by the Harlem Hangover, making his 7th defense of the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. So RVD gave it his all, but just wasn't enough as Booker was able to retain the championship once again. Rob Van Dam was really off his game. Come on, dude. But he's getting better at his gimmick, so I guess you can't complain there. Lack of psychology, unfortunately. RVD with a 78. Booker T carried this match with a 91. Man. Who's mad about an A? Me. Because this got an A star last time. Yeah, nerds and geeks. This match got an A star last time. It was like, I think, 96, I want to say. I don't think it was a 97. I think it was like our 8th best match we did. It's upsetting to see that this only did an A because I was super impressed to see it do an A star, especially because Diamond Dallas Page is in his declining years. An A is still impressive, but I would have preferred that A star. But what can you do? You can't complain too much sometimes. Hopefully the main event sticks. So we go on to have a superb match. DDP does indeed go over Chris Jericho in 16 minutes, 28 seconds with the Diamond Cutter. Back and forth action between the two. And, Chris Jericho loses the DDP. They are getting bored. Last time I did turn them, but it was only because it was an A-star match. I am going to hold it off for my original turn this time, though, which might come back and bite me in the ass, but I don't think one more night is going to hurt it too bad. They're only starting to get bored. Jericho with a 93 and DDP with an 82. You know what? We might as well just go change it now since let's complete the turn. It's only one more night. Very good on his egomaniac gimmick. And the turn was compromised. You know what? It still went well. Never mind. I thought that was bad, but it still went well, so I'm not complaining there. Jericho is now considered a heel, and it also officially is going to be starting the face turn for DDP. We then go to our hype package for the Austin vs. Rock video, probably much just going over their career as well. Gets us a perfect A-star rating. Now let's see if it does the same for the match. Yes! Oh, thank God. Well, at least it retained that. And a perfect match, 100 A-star, not back-to-back A-stars like I did in the previous, but I'll take an A and an A and then an A-star, especially when it's a perfect 100. In an unbelievable match, The Rock finally defeats Stone Cold Steve Austin, 24 minutes, 42 seconds, by pinfall with the rock bottom, making his first defense of the World Heavyweight Championship. I'd imagine Rhino getting involved, and I thought I put it in here. I didn't, but I'd also imagine Rhino still getting involved. He, why wouldn't he? But Rock, taking him out. But he goes over there, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Austin and Rock have pretty good chemistry, so that's awesome. Both coming out with a 100 in-ring performance. And I think did I have them call? I didn't. And they still got a 100. Good for you guys. All in all, I'm just happy that this did still. I think I had to keep, as we can see here, Austin had to be kept strong and I believe protected as well in order for him to actually take the fall to Rock, which that surprised me. So it increased our popularity in 29 regions, still getting a 96 rating, an A-star. It might still be our best show to date. We'll have to check that after it. I'm going to go ahead and give Steve Austin a praised for great performance. The Rock is going to be praised for a great performance. And Chris Jericho is going to be complimented on a good performance because he didn't get quite that A-star that I wanted. Austin was seen pleased. Rock was very happy. And Jericho was happy. I would have given it the DDP too, but unfortunately I can't, so he just kind of gets the honorable mention. This still cracks me up, despite me just having probably the best pay-per-view we've ever put on, K-Quick and others leaving the company gets a, more recognition than us. The WWF put on one hell of a pay-per-view last night, but by the way, did you know K-Quick And Chronic just left? Well, yes, K-Quick and Chronic are now out of the WWF. They are officially gone. No longer to be here. Unemployed. And good riddance. Get out of here, Chronic. No Mercy got the 4th best rating. Heat was also shown. Christian York. Some of our developmental stars are also gone. Christian York is gone from NWA Wildside. He wasn't impressing me enough, so I let him go. Same thing goes with Sly Scraper, who I believe is going on an MMA match here soon. AKA Sylvester Turkai, if any of you remember that name. And Slash. Also Slash and Sly Scraper gone from OVW. So we let go of a couple people. Drug drama for Axel Rotten. Possession by local night police. It is understood that he was found by carrying a small amount of soft drugs. Does he work anywhere? XPW. They won't care, trust me. So we got a couple of things here. Actually, we got a lot of things. Paul Bear apparently has now returned to the company. Most likely going to be put back on vacation. Teddy will probably just use as a referee. Grandmaster Sexay's returned, so we now have the full Too Cool. Brian Clark, Brian Adams, Chronic, and K-Quick have all left. Sly Scrapers, Sylvester Turkai has left. Tajiri and Curryman, a.k.a. Christopher Daniels, have finished their tours with Noah, while AJ Styles looks like he's going to be going to tour with Noah. No Mercy got a 1.8 pay-per-view buy rate. Drug stuff. Scott Steiner says Mike Awesome has poor in-ring psychology. He's probably not worth keeping around. Heat was shown as well. Not a lot of opinions like last time. We do have an incident, though. What is this? Oh, we got some graduates in an incident with Rick Steiner. Uh-oh. So we got a couple graduates. Josh Matthews. I don't know if any of you know who that is. 600, 3 years. Let's go ahead and bring that down. And developmental. And we'll send you... Oh, we got to bring it down again, seriously. Send you down to... You know what? OVW lost quite a couple stars. So we'll send him to OVW. Make offer. There you go. And then Taylor Mathney? Not sure who Taylor Mathney is, but oh boy, she is a lot more money. Why is she so much more money? Especially since when you consider that Josh Matthews is way more popular than she is. She take 1,500. Also, I don't plan on giving you. She also has to go to OVW because that is currently the only place. She won't take that much. Will she take 1,550? Yeah, whatever. Just go 1,600. This offer isn't really. Jesus. OVW is the only place with women, so we'll have to send her there. And then Rick Steiner, what did you do? Is it steroids? It is steroids. Got to take that fine. Hey, it's improved his behavior. Look at you, you're happy. Thanks for caring about me, boss. You're welcome. Some people need to have more manners. Speaking of drugs, he's annoyed. Uh-oh, he's about to be pissed. How do we drug test? I forgot how to do it. I think we gotta just go here, actually. Medical, drug testing, Chris Benoit, standard test all. Yep, going ahead. I don't know what that did. Did it? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Probably an incident. Chris Benoit. Holy shit, I didn't mean to do it to everybody. Oops. And surprisingly, the one person not in here is Chris Benoit. Look at that. Chris Benoit might be fine. Steroid user, fine. Gregory, oh no. Oh, soft drugs, fine. Hey, his behavior improved. He's happy. Hardcore Holly, steroid, fine. Jeff, soft, fine. Jerry Lawler, soft drugs, fine. Mike Awesome, hard drug user. Well, sorry. That's strike two, buddy. Suspended. That's strike two. Let's hope it doesn't do it to Raven. Soft drugs for Raven. That's a fine. He's unhappy. His personality's also gotten worse, but rules are rules. I don't even like it that bad. Rob Van Dam, soft drugs, he gets fine. Scott Taylor, aka Scotty Too Hottie, fine. Steroids, I don't even know why you're taking steroids. Hard drug user, test! No! You motherfucker. I just had that match. Suspend. Rules are rules. His behavior's improved, though. Wow! Look at that! You know what? I'm happy I did that. Testis now has a loyalty relationship with us. He's, you know what? He's happy. And then Val Venus with the steroids. So, the moral of the story here is I think we just drug test everybody, didn't we? Right? I'm pretty sure that's what we just did. Because that was only supposed to be for a worker. I'm going to go ahead and do it one more time. Just to be sure. Benoit's clean. There's no reason. I can't suspend him. That thing came up that one time, but he's not coming up anymore. There's nothing we can do, guys. But, we do now have a problem. As the tag team titles, which are on the wrists of Test and Albert, are going to have to be vacated. Which throws a wrench in all my plans. Thanks a lot for that, Test. Because he's going to be out for a couple months, huh? 28 days? Oh, that's nothing! No, God, no. We could totally do that. I think I just turned down my volume on my... Yeah, I did. Okay, yeah, we're fine. In fact, he just might get the punishment for something else. Either way, though, that's going to be the end of this episode. I've been recording for a little while now. Before we do end it off, though, I know I just said it's the end. Let's check out some storylines that are going to be ending. So, Chavo and Billy end with a solid 63C. It's the end of that storyline there. Jericho and DDP are going to go on and end with a 88B+. Edge and Christian is going to continue. This feud is over. 57C- for Head Chop, Incredible and Noble. This feud is kind of over. This goes to a 56C-. This one's going to continue going. This feud is over here as well. Ending with a 79B. Lita and Jacqueline is over, ending with a 36D-. Raven, Storm, and Dreamer end with a 75B-. RVD and Booker T is finally ending as well with an 83B+. I'm not going to end this yet because, believe it or not, Mike Awesome was going to be the guy to feud with Ron Simmons next. I was going to tie him with his ECW history, but no reason to do that now. Just pinched myself, and it hurt a lot. Austin and Rock is going to be ending with an A star. We're going to be just failing in a couple seconds. This is considered to be over as well, the ECW invasion. This is going to end as well. As is this feud. A lot of feuds are ending. We're starting a lot of things. This is going to stay, and this is going to end. So the only feuds to stay out of this, and Ron Simmons and Sabu might not even stay, I just got to think of something else, are Edge and Christian, Kane and Giant, Taker and Benoit, and Ron Simmons and Sabu. And this is going to stay, but originally it wasn't. So, interesting. Either way, Nerds and Geeks, that is finally going to be the end of this episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you have not already. And as always, my name has been OMGWTF, LOLFWBRB, and I will see you guys for Monday Night Raw. So until then, have a great day.